Hello everybody, it's Amy here from The Social Networker, and in this little episode I'm going to talk to you about business mentors. There are obviously things like mentorships where you can pay somebody to join their mentoring program, but you actually don't have to do that. Now, mentor programs, if they are the right mentor for you, will undoubtedly upscale your business phenomenally. But you can have mentors that you haven't paid anything to, effectively, and some of the ways to get to access those people are by following them across their social media channels, getting on their email lists, all those kinds of things. So I wanted to talk about how having a mentor can help you, and give you some examples of the people who I have used as mentors and am using as mentors, so that you've got a bit of an idea of where you can find these people that might help you in your business. So a mentor should be somebody who has been there and done that, so they can give you the shortcuts to building your business. So one of my mentors uses the analogy of we learn by making mistakes, but we also learn by finding out about other people's mistakes, and that's a much shorter way of developing your business and your own personal development, is to learn from other people's mistakes as much as learning from your own. So that's why I say find a mentor who's been there and done it. A good mentor will actually push you outside of your comfort zone. So rather than you sitting in that comfort zone and never reaching any further, never striving, never hitting any goals, never improving, never growing, never developing, they will get you out of that zone so that you're challenging yourself. However, this is key. There are 3 zones in self development and self-learning, and they are your comfort zone, where you're perfectly comfortable, you sit back, you chill out, you're just kind of a bit blur, really, if you're always in your comfort zone. I'm not saying there isn't a time and a place to be in your comfort zone and to relax, but it's very rare that growth happens in that zone. Then you've got the panic zone, and the panic zone is probably quite familiar for a lot of entrepreneurs, because it's when we get into overwhelm, when we are really kind of going, holy effing beep, what the hell am I doing? I don't know where to start. I've got all this work to do, and that's panic. Okay, you don't want to spend a long time in panic. It's extremely stressful. We are not actually genetically programmed for long-term levels of low stress, and it's not a good place to be. So a mentor will put you in a space between those 2 points. So between your comfort zone and your panic zone is your uncomfortable zone, also your learning zone. It's where you need to be if you want to learn new things, develop new skills, or improve current skills, in that uncomfortable / learning zone. So that's where a mentor should really aim to put you, or to keep you, and they should do that by giving you the self-belief and confidence in your own skill set, so that you actually feel, yeah, I can do this. It's going to be a challenge, but I can do it. And if you're not actually being physically mentored by them in a mentorship program, they should have you doing that by wanting to emulate them, by wanting to achieve the things that they've achieved, by wanting to build your business the way that they've built their business. Essentially, a mentor will help you fly, whether they know they're doing that or not. That's the key thing. So, people who have mentored me, from a very young age, so the year before I was born, my parents started their first business, a very successful hobby business, but it was actually a multi-channel marketing business, hence why I have via osmosis absorbed all this marketing knowledge through the last 40 odd years. And they were my first mentors. You know, I sat and watched them working in their business, building it into a multi-million-pound business and learning a lot of pitfalls. You know, they did nearly go bankrupt. They did have difficult times, but they were able to come back from that. There were a lot of people who helped them along the way. They didn't do it alone. And as a kid, you don't always see that. You kind of put it together afterwards. But there were a lot of people around who helped them, who, including some employees who sacrificed bits and pieces along the way to help them build their business. And so they were really my first mentors. Then when I was employed, there was a gentleman called Martin Turner, who I worked with. I'm sure he won't mind me name checking him. Who I worked with at the Institute of Directors. Now, I had a bit of a rocky start at the Institute of Directors. I actually upset the Director General by closing the bar and had my probation extended. You know, that's not a good place to start, is it? However, by the end of it, I had been trusted with running the conference and banqueting team and department for, I think it was certainly a week, it might have been 2 weeks. I might have done 1 week first and then another week later on. I'd started out running the wine bar for them at the Institute of Directors, and by the time I left, I was running the wine bar and the brasserie, and I was the go-to person to cover the conference and banqueting team when the conference and banqueting manager was on leave or whatever. And that's because Martin Turner put some belief in me, gave me the confidence to go and do it. And, you know, he had the trust in me to do that. And trust's very, very important when you're learning. You know, somebody's put that trust in you to take on that challenge, and that shows belief in you to be able to do it. So Martin's always stood out as a really good mentor and somebody that I learnt a lot from, and that gave me the room to spread my wings a bit, really. Then since I went self-employed, there's kind of been two people really that I have that have made a big difference. The first was actually through my the multi-level marketing business that I was involved in, network marketing. There's a lady called Ange Loughran. So if you've ever heard of Forever Living in the UK, you will probably have heard of Ange Loughran, and she was my mentor there. Now, Ange is, she describes herself as ambitious, vicious, and a little bit delicious. And that's quite apt. She is extremely ambitious, and she can be quite hardball. But what she did for me was kind of reaffirmed my confidence in myself, that I had the ability to go and do something. And actually that, I think, I can't speak for all network marketing companies, but Forever Living, for me in particular, it was an environment of very strong women who were making a difference for their families. There's a lot of single mums involved. And it really helped me understand and see that I could be a successful businesswoman. Now, I chose not to carry on that journey. I still use products, but I chose not to carry on that journey because my marketing business was doing enough. I didn't need it to do, you know, I didn't need the income from Forever Living, and I found it really hard to juggle two businesses and a part-time job at the time. And sort of one thing had to go. The marketing business was making me a guaranteed money. The Forever Living at that time wasn't. It had been very, very helpful to start with, but I didn't need it anymore. So I then came across this guy called Rob Moore, who inadvertently has been mentoring me. I'm not in any of his mentorship programs. He does have them, and if you have the finances and the time to do them, I would strongly recommend you get in them. But I have been following him for probably 18 months, 2 years now, on all of his channels, really, mainly Facebook and LinkedIn. But then I got into the supporters group. So Facebook now do a supporters subscription offer. It's being trialled at the moment. It's not rolled out across everybody. But I jumped straight in on that and got in on one of Rob's WhatsApp groups. Now, what this meant is, not only do I now have Rob Moore as a bit of a mentor, I also have all of these other entrepreneurs and business owners in this support group who may not directly be mentoring me, but through hearing about their journeys, listening to them, talking to them, I actually get some mentoring through them as well. So mentors can come in all shapes and sizes. I strongly suggest that you find somebody that you resonate with and that can help you on your business journey, because it can be extremely isolating and very lonely if you have nobody. And yeah, just use those people, use them to guide you, to inspire you, and to keep you in that learning zone. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, please leave us a rating and a review. If you're watching this on one of our other channels, likewise, please leave us a rating and a review. I was talking to somebody earlier about not bothering to get a camera, and I'm watching this on my webcam thinking, maybe I need a new camera. I look a little bit fuzzy. Not that that might be a bad thing. Not hiding any of the wrinkles though. Anyway, if you like what we do, find us on Facebook at the Facebook business page is Amy P Business, and find me on LinkedIn, which is just Amy Purser. We're on podcasts, which is the Social Network Podcast, and obviously we have a YouTube channel as well, which is Amy Purser. We're everywhere. Find us and we'd love to connect. Take care.